Hello, this is Simon Richardson from the Manx Radio Newsroom. Do you suffer from the winter blues? Well, you may be suffering from SAD or Seasonally Affective Disorder. The good news is you don't have to suffer in silence. I've been talking to Sinead Nudd from Isle of Man Samaritans. She said it's a condition that charity is well aware of.
Yeah, definitely aware of, particularly at this time of the year when clocks have just changed. We're experiencing certainly darker evenings, a lack of light in the morning, and that can really affect people, particularly if they're not getting the opportunity to get outside during the day.
Yes, the Isle of Man, I suppose, we're a prime site for it, aren't we, in many respects, with the kind of weather that we have, as opposed to maybe a Mediterranean nation where, in fact, you get a lot more sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're a person who's going to work early in the morning and coming home late in the evening, and the weather's poor at the weekends, you're going to really feel affected by that ability, not to get outside, not to get your sort of daily dose of vitamin C and vitamin D in the sunshine, and that can really have a massive impact on people's well-being and the way that they can cope with these winter months.
Now, it's one of those conditions that a lot of people are sceptical about and say that, obviously it's just people a bit fed up and what have you. But it's obviously now registered as a very serious condition in some cases. Do you think there's a reluctance of people maybe to come forward and if they are feeling depressed, deal with it at an early stage?
I think people are generally reluctant with anything to say that they're struggling, because it's not easy to speak up about how you're feeling. It's not easy to break that stigma and say, I'm not feeling so great, particularly if people around you are being a little bit blasé about something like seasonally affective disorder. Can make it really difficult to actually open up and talk about the fact that you are feeling affected by it.
So what's your advice to somebody who's suffering from this form of winter depression? Not, I presume it's not to sort of bottle it up and not talk about it.
Well, our advice as Samaritans, although we don't give advice, but what we would say is that it's really important to talk about anything that's making you feel a little bit off. And a lot of people associate talking to Samaritans with being in crisis. And we're really trying to get the message across, particularly in the longer nights and the darker mornings. We are there to listen. We're a 24/7 charity. It's free to call us, even from the Isle of Man. So there's no need to be alone with how you're feeling. It's important that if you are feeling affected, that you can speak to someone who's not going to judge you, who's not going to tell you, don't be silly, or whatever. We will just listen. And we won't tell you what to do, but we'll come alongside you and listen to how you're feeling.
That was Sinead Nudd from the Samaritans. We also sought comment from the island's Interim Medical Officer for Health, Professor Hugo Van Wuerden.
As we head into winter, it's worth remembering that around 1 in 50 people have seasonal affective disorder, although a lot more of us get some level of winter blues. If someone is concerned that they are getting significantly depressed, it's important that they speak to their GP. However, there are lots of practical things that we can all do to help sustain our mood through the winter months. It's worth trying to get out for a walk in the fresh air every day. The Isle of Man is almost the perfect place for getting out and about in nature, with plenty of glens and coastal paths to walk on. Eating a varied and healthy diet which has lots of micronutrients helps, as well as keeping control of the amount of alcohol that we consume. As we don't have much sunshine in the winter months, and many of us have relatively low vitamin D levels, there is some evidence that taking vitamin D will boost our immune system. Thinking more widely, showing kindness to others helps improve our own mood as well. And I think that we all recognise how important it is to invest in relationships with people we can open up to freely and build friendships with. The old saying, count your blessings, name them one by one, is supported by research evidence that being thankful contributes to good mental health. There's lots more tips on staying well this winter, which can be found at www.gov.im/winterhealth.